Together with Earle Sports Bets, yeah, the twins, they be checking in, stacking up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, it's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. I'm joined here as always by my brother Tim. And today, it's 12 games in the NBA, 4 games in the NHL. So we're not going to waste too much time here. But we'll quickly recap yesterday. For me, it feels like the same type of day 3 days in a row, except for this one was on the red side rather than the black side, because it's been within basically 0.4 to 0.6 units the last 3 days. The previous 2 days were 0.35 and 0.45 or something along those lines. Yesterday it was down 0.54. And for me, it was just one of those days where just like meh, and I was just down the juice and moved on. In college basketball, had 2 plays split out on those. William and Mary minus 3.5 gets their ass whooped against Delaware, who couldn't miss anything, who put up 100 points in regulation. And then the Texas A&M Corpus Christi Islanders get it done 62-48 over the Houston Christian Huskies. Minus 6.5 was a winner there. In the NHL, went 2-3. The Devils -1 get the job done. And I think I've finally figured out this Devils team and how to back them if you want to bet on them. It's simple as you just play their team, play opponent team total unders for them. Because they're going to play more defensively styled game, and it's going to be because they just don't have the offensive firepower right now to go guns a-blazing against teams. That's just not with Dougie Hamilton out, with no Jack Hughes the rest of the year, they're going to play lower scoring hockey. So think about that when you back Devils games. Team total unders will be working. I'll probably look to be betting those for their opponents, if not just taking the Devils in general. Minnesota -1. What a letdown yesterday for them. Marc-Andre Fleury making his last career start against Pittsburgh. And they lay a dud like that. They lose 3-1. That was rather annoying. The Hurricanes get the job done. They win 4-2 over the Winnipeg Jets. The Rangers get their ass whooped 7-3 against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And then Vegas loses a barn burner last night 6-5 against LA. It's something between LA and Vegas. I believe they're on like a heavy overstreak when those two teams go up against each other. That game finishes 6-5. So kind of interesting to keep in mind there. And then in the NBA, for me, went 2-1. Lost with the Memphis Grizzlies -9. They won, but they did not cover. And then how about this, Tim? I found a trend yesterday that I went ahead and bet. That I think I'm gonna bet every single time I see this situation pop up. When you see the Philadelphia 76ers as a home favorite, they are now 1-14 ATS. Utah plus the 6 gets the job done. They lose by 4. And then Cleveland -9. They win by 12 against the Milwaukee Bucks. So overall, slight down day for me. NBA was okay. Everything else was just like meh. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it was a slight down day on the site, which it happens. We're actually on a really nice streak for the last 30 days on the site. So one bad day, it is what it is. You had the Devils, which were a nice winner. I took the under in the Nuggets game, under 244. That was the only play that I had in the NBA yesterday. I figured it was a 1:00 game, or in Oklahoma City, I believe it's at 1 or 2 hours. It was either 11 or a noon game. After losing an hour of sleep, I figured it'd be a nice sleepy game, and apparently the Nuggets were sleepy. Now it's 127-103. It is what it is. You move on.
Those two teams play again today, by the way.
They do. Over in the Temple game, didn't get there. You mentioned William and Mary. You mentioned your Minnesota -1. Carolina Rangers split there. Texas A&M Corpus Christi was a winner, and then your Vegas -1 was a loser. Down 1.42. Last 30 days, though, on the site, up 13.06. So on a nice little run. We got conference tournaments going on now, and it's a lot of fun right now. So we'll see how it goes. I believe we're going to start to see more some rankings come out for college basketball, Nick. I have a feeling that Duke's going to end up being number 1. And the crazy thing is right now, the last 3 months, I think they played one ranked team, and they lost that game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely the strength of schedule for Duke has not been there this year. But they fall under a lot of different systems for picking national champions. Because there's a few systems. I mean, obviously there's the top 21, the top 31 offense defense system that produces a lot of national champions. They also fall into one where over the last out of the last 24 years, last 24 champions, 21 of them have either been a 1 seed or UConn. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. Cinderella does show up, but she's usually at home by the Sweet 16. So,
yeah. Hey, I do think there's going to be some fun stories, but unfortunately, I don't think I'll see a lot of them.
yeah.
Nick, do you want to go say hi to the chat, and then we'll jump into everything?
Sure. Let's see. Hello, boys. There's so much we can talk about. Yeah, we have 12 games in the NBA, 4 in the NHL. You're hilarious. Yeah.
Sorry.
What's good? Yeah. What's good, IceX? Okay, we saw the Nuggets get waxed. They have no chance in years to come. Time to okay, we're not even gonna no. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, Nick. How are you guys? How was your weekend? Not too bad. Nice chill weekend. Nuggets have to show something today, or they should just go home. And here's the thing, though, is because apparently the regular season determines everything.
I was about to say, apparently they crown a champion in March. So obviously today's the championship, but no. Relax. At the end of the day, the Nuggets will get a 2 or a 3 seed, and we'll go from there. And then it just comes down to playoffs, which I think the Nuggets will step up in the playoffs. But we're not going to go deep into that right now.
How proven is this Oklahoma City core? Just saying.
That's my thing is they look great now. Let's see them in the playoffs. Because at the end of the day, these games don't matter. Let's be honest. These games right now do not matter.
Shit about NBA regular season. And here's the thing: I'm defending them. I'm not even a fan of a team in the NBA. I don't give a fuck. And I'm defending certain teams. So it is what it is. What's good, Nicholas Handy? But we'll get it started. In the NBA, we have an interesting matchup here. The Los Angeles Lakers are taking on the Brooklyn Nets. For the next, I believe, 7 games or so. No LeBron James. No LeBron James for the. Am I crazy? Yeah. Am I crazy to think that the Lakers will be just fine without him?
Yeah.
Line opened up at a 6. It's now a 6.5. Line opened up 216.5. It's still 216.5. I want to see if the public's overreacted here to the LeBron.
I will say I looked at the games last night, and it's a 6.5 now. It was a 6 last night. So.
Yeah, which makes sense because 80% of tickets and 80% of cash on the Lakers. I think the Lakers are basically the Cowboys of basketball. It's just people are going to bet them regardless of how good or how bad they are. So I guess that kind of makes sense. 89% tickets, 83% of cash is on the over on this one. The Lakers, I believe they had their winning streak snapped in the last matchup there, or in the last game. I was all over the Celtics in that game. Yeah, no, that was only a 10-point game.
That doesn't do it justice. It was a blowout.
No, I understand that. The first half actually pushed the first half minus 4 pushed the full game -7 won, and actually it was a sweat a little bit at the end there because it did get down to a 6-point game. towards the end, which that was a little annoying after I've already been congratulated on Twitter for winning the bet, even though it was in the third quarter. But that's beyond the point. On the flip side, the Brooklyn Nets have just struggled. 7 straight losses. This feels like a spot where the Lakers can come in and take care of business. And with LeBron James out, you guys know the angle I like to take. First game without your star player. I would look for that team to step up. If you're a player props person, I think it starts and ends with Luka Doncic today. Am I wrong? Have him step up with LeBron James out. And I think they said he's going to be out about 7 games. I think they probably win 6 of them. I think the Lakers probably don't. I think the Lakers will look, and I know this is going to sound, I think the Lakers will look better without LeBron James than with LeBron James, because it's going to give other players opportunities here. And it is very public, but I really want to back the Lakers in this game.
I'm on there. This will be the 5th time this season that I have bet on the Lakers, and I'm taking it here. First game without LeBron, and I was able to get 5.5, so I kind of like that line. I think Luka has a big game. You could definitely see that. It's a Nets team that doesn't like go crazy. Obviously, they're one of the worst teams in basketball right now. So I like the Lakers here to bounce back, especially after an ugly game against the Celtics. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take the Lakers here.
Yeah. One interesting prop, I'm seeing plus 320 for it on Fanatics, plus 310 on Bet365 for those interested. Luka Doncic triple-double is in that 3-1 range, a little bit higher in some books. I'm seeing if you have it on, what's this, 888? What is it? On 888 Sport, they have plus 440 for Luka Doncic triple-double. I'm going to move on the Lakers in this game. As well, I'm seeing 6.5 minus 110 over on BetMGM. I'm going to grab the Lakers here as well.
I'm actually kind of I'm going to stick with the Lakers, but I'm actually kind of rethinking my idea for Luka. I think somebody else is going to end up stepping up.
Really?
Like, I think I want to look at it. Because I feel like everybody's going to look at Luka to step up. And I feel like it could just be somebody else. Like, when it comes to it, maybe like a Dorian Finney-Smith kind of game, or I think maybe like a Gabe Vincent type of deal. Like, it's not going to be Luka. There's going to be some guy on the Lakers that's going to pop off tonight for like 30 points, and it's not going to be Luka. But I don't know. I just got that, I just got that weird feeling that we're going to see somebody else go crazy. Even like Dalton Connect could be an interesting one to go off for like 30 points tonight on like 7 for 11 from 3 or something in that nature.
I mean, then if you're a player prop person, what's Dalton Connect over threes? That's an interesting way to look at it as well. If you want to look at, they're not showing any of his props on BetStamp for me to go and shop around for, so they might not have it available yet.
I could definitely see it being somebody other than Luka that has another big game. Luka will have a good game, but it'll be somebody else that will show up too.
Mm-hmm. Fair. Back to the draft, and then we will get into the next one.
Okay, ignore me. You will see the Nuggets are finished. Lakers team total under. No. Nets are tricky. Sometimes they show up. Nets first quarter, they will be fired to beat LA, and LA will be flat to start. That's what I say, but what do I know?
It's not a bad angle for it.
FYI, Joker is a problem. MVP. Joker is the MVP. The thing is, it's SGA is going to end up winning it because they're tired of giving it to Joker, even though Joker's the best player.
It's voter fatigue.
Yeah, it's voter fatigue. It's the same reason why LeBron and MJ haven't won as many MVPs as they should have. Is because they'll give it to somebody else, and just because SGA has his team on the top of the West, they're going to give it to him. That's all it is. It should be Joker 100 out of 100 times. It's not going to be. Luka 50 plus. I could see Luka going for 50 plus. Lakers can't shoot with or without Bron. Well, they're going up against a G League lineup. If they can't do it here, then they're done. Here's the deal. If the Lakers lose tonight to the Nets, they're not doing anything. With or without LeBron, you should beat the Nets. Luka looks like he can break down any moment. He just gets points because he's good. He's a good player, yes. Supness, Sabres money line. No, hopefully not. Yotes money line. Reeves is the guy that's to show up. He will step up.
I don't hate that.
Austin Reeves. I can see Austin Reeves.
Hillbilly Kobe.
I was at the Houston Rodeo. Cool. Boo. Y'all tripping. Luka triple-double.
Why not? Why?
What's up, guys? Any thoughts on Nichols? They're playing Incarnate Word. Maybe just pull that up real quick. I don't remember. Oh, there's that game. I don't hate it. I'm starting to see some 3.5s. This is what the Southland. Yeah. Could be a good matchup. Nichols should be able to take care of business. Nichols actually won 4 in a row against Incarnate Word, so we'll see. I personally don't have anything with it. Ice X, who are you on? Dalton. Lakers don't want him. But they still have him. You're right. I went back and forth with tonight's slate, landing on a lay of 3 teams. Took Furman. Money earning Furman. Where did they got today? Versus Wofford. I know it's a neutral site, but a Furman team that's 25-8 against Wofford that's 18-15. It's like a pick'em. I don't know. That just seems like a Wofford spot to me. I'm not going to, but it just seems like a Wofford spot. The problem with the Joker is the people around him have disoriented. No. I know you don't like any of the teams I root for, so that's fine. I understand you shit talking. But once the Knicks go and beat somebody, let me know. Let's keep on rolling. Keep on going, Nick.
Yeah, we have the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Hawks are 9.5-point favorites, total of 234.5. Let's take a look at the line history in this one here. Seems like a big number for Atlanta, but I feel like it makes sense. Line opened up 9.5. It's now 10.5, so we do have a move towards Atlanta. Line opened up 230. It's now 235. Let's take a look at the total, or let's take a look at the cash flow in this game. 51% of tickets, 57% of the cash is coming in on the Hawks. The line's moving towards them. 81% of tickets, 85% cash on the over here as well. The Hawks are playing good as of late. Back-to-back wins against the Indiana Pacers. I had them the first game, faded them the second game because I thought the Pacers would turn around and beat them the following game. That did not happen, but it is what it is. And on the flip side, Philadelphia, they got a win last night. Woohoo! They beat the Utah Jazz at home and didn't cover. So something to keep in mind there. But for me in this game, it would be Hawks or no bet, but I just feel like I just don't want to lay this type of number with the Hawks.
Yeah, no, this is zero interest in this game at all. These are two teams that I don't want to be touching. A Sixers team that is not mathematically out of it. As crazy as it sounds, they're still 3.5 games back of the Bulls, which they're not doing anything. I'm not saying that they are. I'm not going crazy. Hawks are in that 7 seed. They're never catching the Pistons. At this point, they're just fighting for that home game in that 7-8 matchup, which honestly, who cares? I'm not gonna be going after this game. I kind of refuse to go after games like this. Honestly, there's a couple games I looked at on the card, but this one's ugly.
Yep. Talk about ugly. We'll wait till we get to the next game, which I think I'm going to double up on.
I'm not touching it. Morning, gentlemen. Morning, Untouchable. That hasn't won in over 4 games is just plus 160. Okay, y'all take Oilers. Sabres kill my parlay, so be it. If the Sabres killed my parlay, so be it. I'm just at this point, I just want to see the Sabres tank. I don't really care. Tim is back. Next. Who you consider more of a powerhouse, Duke or Michigan State? Can I say that
Duke.
Michigan State has the better resume? Michigan State's currently the number 8 team in the nation. But I look at their results. They actually have, ranked wins in there. 3. You look, Nick, here's the deal. And I know you're going to make the argument for Duke. Michigan State's won 7 straight games. They were against Illinois, which is a fringe-ranked team. Purdue, who's in the rankings. Michigan, who's in the rankings. Maryland, who's in the rankings. Wisconsin, who's in the rankings. Iowa, and Michigan again, who's in the rankings. They've won 7 straight, with 5 of them being ranked wins. Duke has 2 ranked wins all year long. I consider Michigan State the better team. Yes, you can't control who you play, but I would, if I'm taking a future, it's Michigan State. If they go up against each other in the Elite 8, Final 4, I'm taking Michigan State. It's a Michigan State team that, honestly, I could see winning the national championship this year.
Fair. I got plus 360 on Duke to win the Natty, but that's just something I bet.
Knicks are in trouble also. I admit, Brunson out a few weeks. They're going nowhere. They should trade Brunson for 5 first-rounders.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. He might be worth 5 rounders. 5 first-rounders.
Now that I don't care about it, 4.46 is on the Sabres. And he still can't spell it right. For a genius, he still can't spell Sabres right. Sabres. But he's a genius. Side note, the Bears should have 3 of 4 new starting O-line by the end of the week. Fingers crossed, bear down. Fun time at the Capitals game. Live Kraken first period. Caps full game. Washington and Alexander Ovechkin anytime goal. Washington team total over. Also got a live Ovechkin goal at plus 300. All never in doubt. There you go. Hawks team total over. Did good with some other props too. Robertson and Rantanen. There you go. Draisaitl and TNT Thompson. This is an auto play in the Buffalo game for the over. I could see the over in the Sabres game. Let's keep on rolling.
Yep, and people are not going to like this, but I've doubled up on this spot. This is a game I had circled for a few days now.
Oh, yes.
Hey, it's a game I had circled.
Mine too.
Yeah, I was going to say, but I took it a little bit differently than I thought I was because of the situation that the Jazz are in. So let's get into it. The Boston Celtics are 17.5-point favorites in this game, total of 229. I like this even better considering the Celtics just beat the Lakers. But let's get into it here. The line history does give me a little bit of pause. It opened up at a 17. It's now a 17.5. So we do a half-point line movement towards the Celtics. Line opened up 227. It's now 229. So we'll move towards the over here as well. The market does concern me a little bit. 52% of the tickets are on the Jazz, but 53% of the cash is on the Celtics. So it's about a 50-50 split with a slight move towards the Celtics. 84% of tickets, 85% of the cash is on the over here as well. I said I had marked this game down as one that I would like to bet. And yes, now one thing that I took it a little bit of a different direction than I originally thought I was because of the situation the Utah Jazz are in. Because when I capped this game, I looked at it from the Boston perspective. They're on a 4-game winning streak. And they have one more game at home before they hit the road. They had the Lakers last game. They have the Oklahoma City Thunder next game. And then all of a sudden we have, this little trap spot where they're monster favorites against the Utah Jazz. I knew for a fact I was betting Utah back when we were capping. I believe it was Boston Sixers on the 6th. So that was something I had kept in mind there. On the flip side, one thing that is making me approach this a little differently is the fact that this is the second half of a back-to-back. It's a 3rd game in 4 nights, and it's a 4th game in 6 nights, all on the road for the Utah Jazz. A terrible scheduling spot for them. And they do have one more game on the road in Memphis before they head back home for 1 game. Now, so how did I change my approach? I was going to take the Jazz spread and move on the plus 17.5. I took a little different though. I took the first quarter. I took the first quarter and the first half rather than the first half and the full game. Why? Because I could see Boston taking over a little bit later in the game when fatigue kicks in for the Jazz. That was my main concern. And when I looked at this game, I thought, where's my biggest edge on the Jazz? It's the first quarter and it's the first half. Because if the Celtics come out slow, it'll be in the first 12 minutes and the first 24 minutes. So that's the way I was approaching this game. I'm doubled up on the Utah Jazz first quarter plus 6.5 at minus 120 over on ESPN Bet. And also on ESPN Bet, first half plus 10.5, minus 105. I'm doubling up on the Utah Jazz.
Money line, right? Okay. I'm kidding. I'm on the Jazz plus 17.5. You just mentioned the spot. When you go, for all intents and purposes, you blew out the Lakers. It was a 10-point game. It was a 20-point game going into the 4th quarter. You blew out the Lakers. Now you get the Jazz, and then you got Oklahoma City up next. Now, we're going to get into the spot in the year now that the Celtics don't care for the tiny games. Like, the tiny games will not matter to the Celtics. They're currently 8 games behind the Cavs, and they're 5.5 games ahead of the Knicks. They're not going up. They're not going down. The whole intensive purpose of the rest of the season, get to the playoffs healthy. That's the only thing that the Celtics should be concerned about. Because you got, for most teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 games left. Out of the 18 games left that I'm looking at the schedule for the Boston Celtics, they will care about 2, maybe 3. Oklahoma City in their next game. They will maybe care about Memphis, who's currently number 4 in the West. And then the Knicks. Those are the only 3 games I see them caring about. Because realistically, those are the only 3 games versus teams who are in playoff spots. Not play-in spots, because they still have teams like Miami and Sacramento and maybe Phoenix at the time and Orlando, all in play-in spots. Those are the only games that those 3 before that, Oklahoma City, Memphis, and New York will be the only games that the Celtics will truly go out and care about. I think the Jazz cover in this game. Just because the Celtics don't care about this game doesn't mean they're not going to win. They're 17.5 point favorites. They should win this game. It's a weird spot for them. I grabbed the Jazz here plus 17.5.
Yeah. And we also now the other angle that I like to use with the Celtics, that's definitely cooled down, but you got to still keep in mind 14-30-1 the Celtics ATS after a win. So something to keep in mind as well. Now, if the Celtics would have lost to the Lakers, I would have not been on the Jazz in any way, shape, or form in this game.
Correct.
They're coming in and feeling good about that win against the Lakers, so that's another spot I would like to fade.
100% with you. This is the gross game. Yes. No, there's one that's worse. Just wait. Jazz are a max unit. They were down 22 to Philly, somehow covered. Tonight they'll lose by 30. No. By the way, it says a lot about Toronto. Is it pretty much a pick 'em against Utah? I miss the good old days, the plus 300 with the Coyotes. Right? That is kind of weird. Celtics smash. If you're laying 17.5 points on a basketball game, on an NBA game, I don't know. Of course, Nick stopped capping. Nick capping without looking at injuries. Because the injuries are baked into the line. Utah team total over. Yes. Boston team total over. Could be. Towson and Texas A&M CC. I like Towson today. I do like Towson today. I did not touch the AMCC game. Celtics can rest players and the bench will score. Pritchard, I know one talks about, is terrific. You're on an NBA roster. You should be good.
Yeah, my bad. I should have approached this. I should have approached that last game the Mr. Numbers way. Celtics money line's a lock today, minus 1,600. Just call it a day. Sports betting's easy.
Here we go, Nick.
Ooh, is it bad? I want to bet this one. We have the Toronto Raptors taking on the Washington Wizards. Line opened up at a 6. It's now a 7 for Toronto. Line opened up 231.5. It's still 231.5. These two teams just played 2 days ago in Toronto. So we have this same matchup of a team that just played, that two teams that just played each other. And I kind of like this spot for one. And what's interesting is actually we have 49% of tickets and 63% of cash is on the Wizards, yet this line is moving towards the Raptors, which is interesting there. 70% of tickets, 65% of cash is on the over. The last time these two teams played was back on March the 8th, so 2 days ago. It was a 118-117 win for the Washington Wizards. And that was I was on the Wizards in that game, so that was a nice little casher in that one. I want to turn around and take Toronto in this game. The question is, do we want to lay this many points with the Raptors? Because I do think this is a nice little short-term revenge spot for the Raptors. And that's where I would lean in this game, would be Toronto minus 6.5. I just don't know if I can really pull the trigger laying this many points with the Raptors. So for me, it's a lean towards laying the points, but I don't know if I can pull the trigger, but I like the short-term revenge spot here.
Man, I should call 1-800-GAMBLER. Give me the Raptors. Short-term revenge spot, you were just mentioning it, especially when you go and you lose to Washington at home. I think Toronto wins this game by double digits. It's gross. It's a bet it and forget it. The one time I'll look at this game is I'll probably end up checking ESPN app in like the end of the fourth quarter just to see whether or not it hit. But this is a classic bet it, forget it. Who cares? And we kind of just move on from there. Line movement and everything just tells me that this game is going to be a blowout for Toronto, as they should, because the Washington Wizards are a joke of a team. But I'm gonna take the Raptors here. It's gross. I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna join you. I'm gonna take the Raptors as well, minus 6.5, minus 110 over on bet 365.
1-800 LO. So zigzag effect. Yes.
Yes.
For Knicksters, Celtics, Warriors, Avs, moneyline parlay minus 225. Dude, throw Edmonton in there. Wizards, no. UNCW and Furman, does it matter if it's minus 1.5 on a neutral site? No, I think that's a money line spot for either side. Oh, sorry, Furman's a pick. I'm gonna bet Wofford. I'm gonna bet Wofford. Because that game's a pick 'em, and with the records the way they look, damn it, I'm gonna end up betting Wofford there. And what was your other one? UNCW. I think I was looking the opposite direction, to be honest. No, I wasn't. That game, man, if that was a baseball game, College of Charleston, UNCW, ooh, that would be fun. Basketball game, I'm not really too interested. Although those two teams, 24-8 versus 25-7, that should be a really good game as well for the conference tournament. I believe, is that the conference finals? For UNCW, I believe that's actually I don't. That's what, Colonial CAA. No, it's semifinals because Delaware and Towson. Towson's going to end up winning that conference, but should be a good game. UNCW. I'm taking Wofford. I'm doing it. Raps ain't good enough to be laying minus 7. Can't lay 6.5 drunk. Feels like slaughter game. Wizards money line. No. I don't bet road teams in hockey. My pars, because you never know when the home team shows up. No, throw the Sabres in there. No, don't throw the Sabres in there. All right, Nick, this one's a 1-800.
Yeah, the Miami Heat and the Charlotte Hornets, 9.5-point favorites are the Heat, total 216.5. The Heat are a tough team to trust as a favorite. That's one thing I have noticed. Line opened up at a 9.5, still a 9.5. Line opened up to 18.5. It's down to a 216.5. So move towards the under, move towards the and no move on the side. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game here. 60% of the tickets, 60% of cash is on the Hornets. Line's not moving. 81% of tickets, 80% of cash is on the over here as well. I'm not laying this number with the Heat. I'm not really interested in the Hornets, especially getting 60% of the tickets and the line not moving. I think this was one of the easier passes on the card for me. This is just too tricky because the Heat win most likely. They've lost 3 in a row and 4 or 5, so this could be a get right spot for them. After 3 straight losses, you finally get an opponent you can just show up and beat the crap out of in your sleep. But is this one I absolutely feel the need to get involved with? No. And this is a simple pass for me.
I don't really bet Heat games. This is a Heat team that I don't know which one's going to show up from day to day. Is it going to be a team that's going to all of a sudden go and click and hit a bunch of threes? Or they're going to do absolutely nothing? Most of the time, it's absolutely nothing. Is it a spot? Is it a team that you want to lay 9.5 points on? Absolutely not. On the opposite side, you got Charlotte, who is really trying to compete for being the worst team in basketball. They're only a game and a half behind the Wizards.
Cooper Flag.
For Cooper. Well, keep in mind, it is a lottery system. So realistically, Hornets, Wizards, and Jazz are and Pelicans are all in it for Cooper Flag. Watch the draft lottery go. Like the Hornets get like the top pick, and Cooper Flag goes, you know what? I'm gonna go back to Duke for another year. But no, I'm not touching this game. Nowhere close to it.
Yeah.
I heard something about Towson winning it all in the CAA tournament. That would be nice, plus money against whoever. Honestly, the thing is, Towson's. If you don't pay attention to small schools, Towson's really good. Like Towson in colonial play all year long has been fantastic. They are 16-2 in conference. They're 22-10 this year. They played a tough schedule in the beginning of the year. And then in CAA play, they've lost to College of Charleston, which was early in the year, and Elon. I would trust Towson. Towson's, and then the thing is, if Towson wins the tournament, they're going to be a 16 seed. So they're going to end up getting blown out in the first round. But that Towson team, they've got some good players. Furman has just beat the better conference teams. Why is it weird that the Lions will basically pick them? If Wofford is as good as they say, they're 25-8 versus a Wofford team that's 18-15. Let's just quickly, that is the Southern Conference. I'm going to pull it up real quick because it'll just say it's the SoCon. Well, both these two teams in conference was 11-7 and then 10-8, which just means that Furman I don't think Furman played a tough out of conference schedule. Yeah, no, they didn't. They didn't play anybody out of conference. They had a win against Tulane, but Tulane's garbage. Yeah, no, Furman didn't play anybody in conference. That's why they had such a good, 25-8 record. Who did Wofford? I know Wofford had a couple of. Wofford played Duke. They played St. Louis, which is an A-10 team. That's not bad. But they Wofford kind of struggled. The SoCon in general is not good, but I feel like Wofford's a little bit more battle tested. I don't know. Everybody's going to see Furman at such a better record and want to take them at a pick'em price. I'll take my shot with Wofford. Ball over 3-pointers. Heat lost to the Bulls at home. Give me Charlotte. Okay. Hold your nose. Hello, Pepperdine or San Francisco spreads might be an ugly play in college basketball. Pepperdine plus 19.5 versus St. Mary's, or San Fran plus 14.5 versus the Zags. I would say Pepperdine has the better shot at covering, if I'm to be honest. But I don't know if I would go after either one of them. I think Gonzaga wins by 25 plus. I don't think that game was close at all. Hornets team total over. Maybe they play at a high enough pace. No way it ends up St. Mary's and Gonzaga again. It probably will. Let's give credit to the Earls for being top 2 the last 30 days. I'm happy for them. Wow, something positive out of 446. That's rare. Tulane isn't garbage. In basketball, they are. Let's be honest. In basketball, they are. Oh, geez. Oh, wow. We still have a lot of games, and I have 15 minutes. Shit.
Oh, girl. Yeah.
Sorry.
Let's keep it going. We have the Memphis Grizzlies and the Phoenix Suns. We have the Grizzlies 4.5 point favorites in this game, total of 243 in this one. Line opened up at a 5, immediately went down to a 4, got back to a 4.5. It's back down to a 4. Taking a look at the cash flow in this game here, where we have 60% of the tickets, 60% of cash on the Suns. Lines moving slightly towards them in this game. Now, we do have the Memphis Grizzlies on a second half of a back-to-back, a third game in 4 nights. They are back home after being in New Orleans last night, so a little bit of travel there. The Suns, this is their second half of a back-to-back, third game in 4 nights. Both those are on the road, Mile High, then Dallas, then Memphis. Both teams in spots I'd rather bet against than bet on. It's a simple stay-off spot for me.
I don't bet the Suns. I don't really bet a lot. I don't think they're good. And then you got the Grizzlies, who've just been kind of weird lately, and not a team that I'm willing to trust either. Grizzlies 4-6 their last 10, although they've won 2 in a row. It's still going to be a fun stretch fun race between the 2 to 5 seeds with the Lakers, Nuggets, Grizzlies, and Rockets down the stretch. It would be Grizzlies or nothing, just because I've never been in the Suns here, but I'm going to go nothing.
Fair.
Thoughts on Terrence being a full-time catcher? He's done it before.
He's serviceable for the 6 to 8 weeks that Alvarez will be out.
Now, is it Nick? Is it 6 to 8 weeks from today, or is it 6 to 8 weeks to begin the year?
From today.
So he could be back.
And also keep in mind, the Mets will probably look for a backup catcher. For players that like failed to make a roster or stuff like that. A couple of names that I saw pop up: Tomas Nido, James McCann. So.
Okay, stop. You know what? The lineup's going to be just fine.
The catching position is not a huge offensive position to worry about.
Yeah, it should not be something we need to worry about. Let's keep rolling, Nick.
Yeah, we have the Indiana Pacers and the Chicago Bulls minus 5.5 for the Pacers, total of 241.5. The Pacers off of back-to-back losses there against the Atlanta Hawks. But this line opened up at a 4.5. It's now a 6. So we do have a move towards the Pacers in this game, expecting them to get right in this spot after back-to-back losses. Line opened up 241.5. Still at 241.5, 68% of tickets, 78% of the cash is on the Pacers. The line's moving towards them at the very least for those who do want to back them. On the flip, all right, let's take a look at these two teams have done. Back-to-back wins for the Chicago Bulls as they're trying to make their push towards staying in a play-in spot. On the flip side, the Indiana Pacers are holding on to that 5 seed in the Eastern Conference, even though back-to-back losses. This feels like a game that the Pacers should get right and should win and cover. I don't want to trust them laying this many points on the road right now, though, so this is a pass for me.
Yeah, once again, two teams not super interesting going after. The Bulls, 12 games under 500 in a play-in spot. There you go. There's your Eastern Conference. Pacers still a half game behind the Bucks, half game ahead of the Pistons. So they still have a lot to play for. Honestly, the Pacers should win this game. Obviously, they're 5.5 point favorites. I'm not laying 5.5 points with them on the road. Just not going to happen.
No.
Suns first half money line. Grizzlies money line. Trade Ja. I don't think they should trade Ja Morant. Suns are putrid. They can score and play no defense. This should go over. Suns game should go over. Suns defense on the road is awful. Good luck, y'all. Another game you should go over. Hold your noses again. I don't really think it's a hold your nose for either the Suns game or the Pacers game to go over total. I don't think so at all. Let's keep on rolling.
Yeah, we have the Houston Rockets and the Orlando Magic. 4.5 point favorites are the Houston Rockets, total 212.5 now. Line opened up at a 4.5, got up to a 5, back down to a 4.5. Line opened up 215, down to a 214, down to a 213.5, down to 212.5. So a move towards the under here as well. We have 70% of tickets and 63% of the cash coming in on the Rockets. The line is moving slightly the line has not really moved. It did get up to a 5 at one point, so it had a slight move towards the Rocket, but there was buyback on the Magic. 90% tickets, 88% of cash is on the over here as well. This is gross, but it's Magic or no bet for me here in this one. Taking the points in this game. I just don't know how much we can trust the Houston Rockets right now. Yes, they are now back. They're playing a little bit better. They're on a 2-game winning streak. They played the Pelicans twice. Whoop-de-doo. So still not that's not going to earn you my trust personally. But yeah, simple stay off spot for me here. It would be what do you call it? Magic or no bet though.
I agree. It should be Magic or nothing. I'm not touching this game though. I think I'm going to end up going after the next game, and I think that one's going to be the last one I have on my card. So I like this one. Orlando, they're in that limbo spot in the play-in hell of the Eastern Conference. And the Rockets are moving their way down more. The Rockets are kind of moving their way more towards the 6th seed than going up. Neither team I'm going to trust. So we'll just pass on this game. I'll have something on the next game, and then that'll pretty much be it for my card because you look at the rest of the game, they're gross.
Fair.
Pacers smash. Magic are back. Big win over the Bucks. Give me them. Give me the 5. Okay. Durant rebounds. Durant doesn't want to be there anymore. Magic, team total over. I can see the Magic going over in their team total. Nick, you probably know where I'm going here.
Yeah, let's get into it. The Denver Nuggets are taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. We have the Nuggets, or my bad, the Thunder 9-point favorites in this game, total 238. Line opened up around a 9. It's still a 9, so not really much line movement here. Line opened up 241. It's down to a 238. Taking a look at the cash flow in this game, 54% of tickets, 60% of the cash is coming in on the Thunder with the line not moving. Taking a look at the total here, 69% of tickets and 70% of the cash is on the over here as well. These two teams played yesterday, an afternoon game, and it was a 24-point win for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They have now won 7 in a row, 9 of their last 10. On the flip side, that snapped Denver's 2-game winning streak. They've still been playing decent as of late. 6 of their last 10 they've won. The Denver Nuggets, they're now 3rd in the Western Conference.
Tied for second.
And I look for potentially a bounce-back game here for the Denver Nuggets after what was a terrible showing yesterday. Look for them maybe to show up here today. Both these teams are in weird spots. Second half back-to-back, third game in 4 nights. Granted, obviously no travel from the last game for both these teams because they were in OKC. They're still in OKC. For me, this would be Denver or no bet. It would be my lean in this spot, looking for them to bounce back after the ugly performance yesterday.
That's exactly where I'm at. And it would be the same thing if the Nuggets happened to win yesterday. I would be on Oklahoma City today. I was just on the total yesterday, and I'm happy that's kind of where I went, and that was an easy under. But today I'm grabbing the Nuggets. I was able to get 9.5. I know that the Thunder are a good team, but I feel like that's just a tad too high for the Thunder for this spot here. It's hard to beat the same team twice on back-to-back nights. I think the Nuggets have a real shot to win tonight. I'm just going to grab them plus 9.5, though.
Yeah, I expect them to, at the very least, keep this game close. And I'm getting 5.5 first half, 9.5 full game. I'm going to take both. I'm going to double up on the Nuggets here in this spot. First half and full game. You get embarrassed by 24 points against a team you're chasing for the obviously, you're not chasing for the number 1 seed, but a team that you're trying to get up to their level, really, and prove you can compete with. I expect a much better performance out of the Denver Nuggets today, and I expect them to show a little bit of fight. So I'm going to be on the Denver Nuggets. I got I got them here plus 5.5 minus 115 FanDuel first half, plus 9.5 minus 115 BetMGM full game.
Yep. In OTT over in Ottawa. Sure. Rockets need Van Vliet back. Rockets need Nuggets spread, Joker triple double. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sam, to show up.
Let's see if your team has the guts, or will they show that they are old and slow again? They are not old and slow. Are these matchups going to determine who the MVP is? No, the MVP is already determined because of voter fatigue. Unfortunately, SGA is going to win the MVP. It does not matter what happens the rest of the year. Joker can get a triple-double every single game for the rest of the year. It does not matter. It does not matter.
They've already got their minds made up.
9 and Joker triple-double. Watch these two teams play, and it's just laughable. Young legs just run them off the court. I will say real quick, I find it funny that 446 is more interested in shit talking our teams than talking about his. I'm not going to take the money line because NBA has not been good to me this year, and I'm just trying to do better in the NBA. I'm going to skip that comment because you are stupid. OKC smash. No. Tell them. See, that's my point. Keep watching Joker on defense. Safety cone. He's the best player in the NBA. I don't want to hear anything else.
Let's keep it going. San Antonio Spurs and the Dallas Mavericks. 6.5-point favorites are the Spurs. Total of 231 in this game. Line opened up at a 6. It's now a 7. So we do have a move towards San Antonio. Line opened up 225. It's now 231. So a move towards the over here as well. Taking a look at the cash flow in this game, where we do have 53% of tickets, 58% of cash coming in on the Spurs. Lines moving towards them. We have 82% of tickets and 84% of the cash is on the over here as well. Obviously, the Dallas Mavericks are falling apart right now. Like that's yep. no secret. Obviously, they traded away Luka, and Kyrie got hurt, and now this team is just a ticking time bomb. Really, they've lost 7 of 8. They've not covered in 7 of 8. They've lost 5 in a row and have failed to cover in all 5 of them. This is an unbackable team right now in the Dallas Mavericks. On the flip side, we have the San Antonio Spurs off of back-to-back losses, 3 in 4 games, 7 of 9. Both these teams kind of struggling right now. It would be Spurs or no bet. I am not putting my money on the Dallas Mavericks right now. But is this a game I need to get involved with? Hell no.
Yeah, no. Another pass. I think I'm going to be just fine with sticking with my 4 NBA plays today. I'm not really interested in any of the other games remaining. Dallas is going to allow the Suns to get into the playoffs or play-ins. So, and the Spurs, yeah. The NBA can't have a white guy winning the MVP every year. It's just a fact. Am I crazy to say that, like, I know Joker's white, but he's European.
That's totally not racist whatsoever.
I understand where I don't see him as white. I see him as European. I feel like a white guy in the NBA is somebody that came out of college basketball that did not come from overseas. That's just me. Spurs minus 6.5, and Spurs defense is horrific with no Wemby. Yeah, yes, unfortunately for the Spurs, they lost Wemby, and that's going to end up killing any shot they had at a play-in spot. I mean, they're 4.5 games back to begin with, but that is going to hurt them. Nick, I'm sorry, but I have to head out. There's 2 games left. I'll say I'm never laying double digits here. It's Portland or nothing. And I was close to betting the Kings, but I'm not going to pull the trigger there either. So I'm going to be honest, it's a pass on the last 2 games. But I got to head out to work. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm happy I was actually able to do the show and my voice wasn't killing me the entire time. So, but I'll see you on the next one.
Yep. All right, we'll continue on here. We have 2 games left in the NBA. We have the Golden State Warriors taking on the Portland Trailblazers. The Warriors 12-point favorites, total 231.5. Yeah, Tim kind of mentioned this one. It's a big spread, but I think it's probably a big spread for a reason. Let's get into it. Where we have this line opened up at a 12. It's still a 12. Line opened up 232. It's now a 233. 64% of tickets, 67% of cash is on Golden State. The line moving towards them there, or the line not moving at all. My bad. 82% tickets, 80% of cash on the over. Golden State's been playing better as of late. They've won 4 of their last 5. They've 4 straight. They've won 9 of their last 10, and they're playing themselves into a playoff spot now. And here's the thing. I kind of pointed and laughed at when Draymond Green said they're going to win the NBA championship this year. That's not out of the realm of possibilities. It's still a team with experience. They're starting to get hot at the right time. And Portland's starting to fall apart a little bit. They've lost 3 straight and not covered any of them, but they were all against playoff teams, which here's another playoff team they're playing. They played Dallas. They were at Dallas, at OKC, and then they hosted Detroit. No shame in those losses against OKC and Boston, though. So that's kind of what they have gone through as of late. This is an easy no play for me. I'm not laying double digits, but on the flip side, do I really want to take a shot with Portland? Not really. So this is a no play here for me at all. Dallas team total over 112.5. That's not a bad way to go at it. 446 is right. Yeah. Ken Tim, what? SGA MVP, name it already. They've already. It feels like they've basically already called it. Even though statistically, it's not particularly close. Jokic is the better player. Just when you just look at straight statistics, and the fact that he's probably even more valuable on his team because the players around SGA are better than the players around Jokic. So it is what it is. Give me the over. G's is my team. I have to bet them money line every game with Butler. Totally different team. -12 though. Like you're laying -600. That's whatever. I'm not going to give you credit for winning a -600 bet. I don't care. Warrior smash. Of course I'm right. Whatever. All right. Well, last game on the NBA card, we have the New York Knicks taking on the Sacramento Kings. The Knicks are 2.5-point road favorites in this game, total of 218.5. I think we're starting to see some threes out there. This was one of them where the Knicks kind of caught my attention as a potential play today. Line opened up around 2, got up to a 3, back down to a 2.5. But now we're at a 3. So we do have a move towards the New York Knicks. Line opened up to 23. It's down to a 219.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game here, where we do have 62% of tickets, 65% of cash. It's coming out of the Kings, and the line's moving towards the Knicks. Tells me that they are not afraid of your New York Knicks or of your Sacramento King money. Jalen Brunson is day-to-day. I'm well aware of that. And I think that's why we're getting the line we are with the New York Knicks. We got to keep in mind, yes, there's an injury report that we have to pay attention to. But we're not the only ones who know the injury report. Vegas does too, and it's baked into the line. If Jalen Brunson was in this game, we'd be looking at Knicks -5.5, -6. So, yes, it is yes, the Knicks are cheaper. And yes, the Knicks without Brunson are worrisome. However, it's baked into the line already. You're not pulling a fast one over Vegas because you looked at an injury report. Vegas knows too. So Sacramento coming in off of a 1-point loss last night. They were 6-point dogs. They covered against the LA Clippers as they've now covered in 6 straight games. And they've won 5 of them. So this is a Sacramento team that's playing better. They're fighting their way to get into the play-in spot. On the flip side, the New York Knicks, they have lost 3 in a row. But they've had a few days off. They played the 6th and the 7th. And now they've had a few days off in California to get regrouped and ready to go. They have a 10-point loss against the Clippers in their last game sitting in the back of their mind there. And the public's on the Kings. The line's moving towards the Knicks. The books are begging you, please give us all your Sacramento King money. Give it all to us. Yeah, I'm not going to fall for that. And I'm going to take the New York Knicks here at -2.5 at -110 over on BetMGM to close out my card. Yes, the injury report is concerning. I am well aware of it. But that's why we're getting the number that we are with the New York Knicks. And we're not having to pay a stupid number on the New York Knicks in this game. -140 is the money line if you just want to go with that. But for me in this game, I am going to take the -2.5, -110 with the New York Knicks to take care of the Kings, who are in a bad scheduling spot. Second half of back-to-back, third game in 4 nights. They had a hard-fought game against the Clippers last night. I think this is a situational spot that is perfect for the New York Knicks to get the job done. If they don't, then we really have to question them. But for me, yes, I'm on the New York Knicks at -2.5, -110 to close out my card here against the Sacramento Kings. Let me go ahead and put that up on my Capper Tech as well. All right. Let's see. Lockett is spring training. Okay. Cannot bet the Knicks without Brunson. They have no point guard. Offense is terrible without him. Cool, then take an under. Under? Yeah, that's probably where I would look to. Yeah. Jalen Brunson is not day-to-day. He's out for at least 2 weeks. Then what report am I reading? Covers needs to up their game then. It just says day-to-day on covers. Then sorry ass Knicks. Kings money line and Kings team total over. Trading 5 first-rounders for Bridges was a disaster. He's been awful. Yeah, if 5 first-rounders was traded for Bridges, then 5 first-rounders for Jokic is a fireable offense. Who's going to step up with for the Knicks with Jalen Brunson out? That's going to have to be Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, McBride's going to have to step up as well. But yeah. If I had to bet, I'd say Towns. Knicks very public dog on DraftKings. Okay. That's one book, and my information says otherwise. Maybe take Knicks first quarter, and then go for the full game. Fair. I know my Knicks. Trust me, not some stupid report. Okay, cool. We'll move on to the better sport anyway. We have the NHL. We have 4 games in the NHL, so this shouldn't take too long. We have the Buffalo Sabres taking on the Edmonton Oilers. We have the Oilers minus 185 road favorites in this game, total of 6.5. The Oilers are coming in, I believe that was off of that win against the it was the win against the Dallas Stars in their last game. So they're coming in feeling good, back-to-back wins, but the first one was an overtime win. Now they do hit the road, though, and head to Buffalo. They had yesterday off, but they went from Edmonton to Buffalo. That's a little bit of a travel spot. On the flip side, we have, the Buffalo Sabres have just fallen off here, 6 straight losses. They've kind of struggled defensively as well. They've given up at least 4 goals in all 6 losses. So maybe if you're looking at a total in this game, it is an Edmonton team total over. You're just looking at a minus 130 for a 3.5, but I wouldn't talk anybody off of an Edmonton team total over. I've kind of been pumping the brakes on team totals in the NHL because they've really not been good for me this year. But that would be my lean in this game, would be probably Edmonton team total over in this spot. Do I want to trust them, though? Trust Edmonton after a hard-fought win there against the Dallas Stars, where they were up 5-1. Dallas came back, made it 5-4. Tricky spot in this one. Maybe a lean towards an over, maybe a team total over for Edmonton. I've kind of been trying to stay away from totals, but I might be taking the Edmonton team total over here. It's $3.5, $30. I think that's a good number. And I'll pull the trigger on it here with hesitancy a little bit, but over on Bovada, the DraftKings minus 128, team total over 3.5 for the Edmonton Oilers. I'll pull the trigger on that here. I have been trying to stay away from them a little bit, but at this number, the way the Sabres have been playing as of late, I think this is a better way than backing the Edmonton Oilers on a team total over, or on a spread or a money line. I think this is the way to go if you do want to back the Oilers. If they're going to win this game and cover a puck line or cover a minus 1 line or anything along those lines, or win in regulation, they're going to score 4 goals. So, yeah, I'll get my NHL card started. Edmonton Oilers, team total over 3.5 at minus 128 in this one. Sabres money line. Sabres first period. I don't feel like trusting them full game. Fair. Flyers money line. All right. Oilers over 6.5 or over 6.5. McLeod, anytime goal. That's an interesting look. I believe it's McLeod's former team. Josh Norris. It's not a bad look there either. Is this his second game with the Sabres or first game? I don't remember. Paterka plus 180. He's been pretty solid this year. Love backing Mr. TNT, Tage Thompson at anytime goal, especially at home. He's a homer this year when it comes to goals. Yeah. Dahlin over 1.5 points, plus 321. Oilers team total over and over 5.5, minus 104. It's a nice 2-piece. That's an interesting way to go at it as well. Is that? I mean, that's not a bad number either, especially you're getting a 5.5 with it as well. So that's not a bad way to approach it. I'm just going to rely on the Oilers to score goals rather than having both teams score goals, because one thing I do know is that the Sabres have been giving up goals in bunches. You missed both Sabres. You're all good. Or Oilers, you're all good. I was just messing around with you. Tricky game here. The Ottawa Senators and the Detroit Red Wings. We have the Senators minus 155, home favorites, total of 6 in this game. The Sens feel like are in playoff mode. This is a team that is fighting for their first playoff berth and what feels like forever. 3 straight games have gone past regulation for them. They lost 5-4 in a shootout to Washington. They beat Chicago 4-3. They beat the Rangers 4-3. Came back from down 3-1 in that game. On the flip side, Detroit's kind of fallen off here. They've lost 5 in a row, and eventually we're going to have to question the Yzer plan because it's not working. And Detroit continues to fall apart late in the year. I mean, for me, it's one team going one way, another team going another way. I would only look Ottawa in this game. Personally, it's very tricky to want to back them at this number, though. But Detroit is, for me, at the moment, unbackable. So this would be Ottawa -1 or no bet if I'm looking to back this game. Just not one I'm gun-ho on getting involved with. So it's a stay-off spot for me, but I would only look towards the Ottawa Senators here at -1. Sens money line, yeah. Sens team total over, not a bad way to look at it as well. Small draw sprinkle. Fernando, over 6. Yep, I can see that. Okay, Mr. Hockey is here, Rob. Yeah. Patrick Kane, plus 250. Sens in the over 6. Stützle, anytime goal, plus 200. All right, let's head to the next one here. We have the Colorado Avalanche minus 525 favorites, total 6.5 in this game against the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, yes, I am well aware. This is a massive line. And I understand why it's a massive line. I mean, you'll never catch me laying anything like this. But the the Colorado Avalanche are on 5 straight wins. This is a team that I believe the Colorado Avalanche can win the Stanley Cup this year. I think the Avalanche represent the West, and I think the Lightning represent the East. I think we're seeing Tampa Bay and Colorado in the Stanley Cup Finals. That is my pick for that. The Avalanche have won 5 in a row against New Jersey, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, San Jose, and Toronto. They're coming in off of a nice win. I'm kind of concerned though about the Avalanche for this game, and I think this is an interesting spot for the Blackhawks. However, this is the third game, or this is a third game in 4 nights, a 4th game in 6 nights, a 5th game in 8 nights, and a 6th game in 10 nights. It's a lot of freaking hockey the Blackhawks have been playing as of late. However, since the month of March, they've received a point in all 5 games. Their only 2 losses were overtime losses against Ottawa and Nashville. This is a team that's keeping things close. I can see a little bit of a sluggish start here for the Colorado Avalanche after a 7-4 win against Toronto. And I'm interested in Chicago in this game. I'm interested in Chicago in a couple ways in this spot. It would be first period plus a half potentially. If you want to just cut it down to the first period, ask for a good 20 minutes. You can ask just the first period team total over with the Blackhawks, which is minus 105 for over a half. I don't hate that one either. Team total over in general for the Blackhawks in this game is around plus 140. So maybe you can make a team total over 2 for the Blackhawks. I think that is worth a look at as well. I think this is a tough spot here for both teams. Colorado coming in, they're still probably getting used to the lineup with the 2 new forwards or the 2 new centers. Now, the ultimate question is, it's very easy to say, yeah, I would lean towards the Blackhawks. And it's another thing to click the Blackhawks plus 2.5, or click the Blackhawks team total over half in the first period, or full game team total over 2.5, or the plus a half in the first period, or something along those lines. It's another thing to say, yeah, I like the Blackhawks in this spot, and then to turn around and actually hit the place bet button and place the bet on the Chicago Blackhawks right now, which have been playing really strong as of late. They do have a couple more games on this road trip. They did have a day off yesterday after what was a back-to-back thing. And I have feeling I'm going to get involved in the Blackhawks on a couple ways in this game with a +2.5 and a +0.5 first period. I think that's the way I would like to approach this. I'll shop around here. The best available +0.5 in the first period is even money over on DraftKings. I'm going to pull the trigger on that. And then I need to take a look here. I'm seeing +155 for the +1.5. I need to see what a +2.5 will be for the Blackhawks here for the full game, because I think this is a tricky spot for the Avalanche. They're coming in off of back-to-back games of scoring 7 goals. They've scored 4 in 5 straight games, and then they hit the road after this. This is the last game of a homestand. They've won every single one so far, so this has been a successful homestand for them here. I want to take a look real quick what the total puck line. Here we go. +2.5, -130 over on Bet365. I'm going to move on both those here. I'm doubling up on the Blackhawks in this game. I think it's a tricky spot for the Avalanche to say that they're just going to come out here and blow them out, and they very well could. And I can be down 2 units at the end of this game, or 2.3 units at the end of the day. And the Blackhawks or the Colorado Avalanche come out and they win this game 7-2. They very well could do that as well. That's part of the range of outcomes for this game. However, I'm going to take a shot here. +0.5 even money over on DraftKings. +2.5 -130 on Bet365. Taking a shot on both those here with the Chicago Blackhawks. Let's take a look. Tarasenko anytime goal. All right. Dylan Cousins point +134. DeBrincat +160. What a 446 all as well. What about Sens team total over? I would lean that way. Absolutely. God damn it. This game gave me a major headache. LOL, major pass. That is totally fine as well. Over 6.5. Colorado money line. First period. Colorado team total over. Okay. Avs team total over 4.5 +120. Brock Nelson assist. Charlie Coyle assist. 2 new guys, so not a bad way to look at it. LOL, the Avs probably want to avoid getting swept in the season series. I can see that. Nature's +140. Avs in the under. Sounds good to me. I'll tell Avs puck line. Avs puck line is what? -180? Well, first period over. Yeah, I would look towards maybe a first period over, maybe a first team, both teams to score, and a 1-1 tie at the end of the first period. That's kind of where I see that at all. Last 5 wins have been no sweat at all. They keep it rolling. They absolutely could. I'm very high on this Avalanche team. Found Nichushkin over 1.5 points, +271. McCarr +225 anytime goal. It's worth a look. I mean, they have one more matchup, but this would be hilarious if they lose the season series to the second worst team in the NHL. I'm not saying that they lose. I think it's tied at the end of the first period, and I think it's within 2. That's just me. They beat Colorado last time. They very well could. Tricky spot. They've been at home, rested, and playing off the charts. Get a clue, Earle. Okay. They're also -525, and I see value on the other side. At the end of the day, I'm betting numbers, not teams at some points. In situational spots and things along those lines. And for the Blackhawks, they've been good in the first period this year. And you have back-to-back games where you score 7 goals. We've seen that before where you have massive outputs offensively, and then after that you get shut down for a game. I could see that as well, especially if Spencer Knight is in net. But yeah. I did a small sprinkle on Colorado puck line and Chicago +2.5. That's an interesting look. What's wrong with -180? At least we're not laying -250 numbers like 52 numbers or 200 -250 numbers on like someone cough 446. For me, I cut it off around 135, 140 range. That's just me personally, though. I don't like laying that type of juice because at the end of the day, -180, you need to cash over 65% of the time to be profitable, close to. So it's just a math play for me. I don't think the Avs puck line cashes at the 60-something% rate. Okay, good luck. Fair. Last game. I don't know if I'm getting involved with this one. Toronto Maple Leafs and the Utah Hockey Club -120 for Toronto in this game. Total of 6 in this one. Toronto continues their road trip here. They were in Toronto the other night, or not in Toronto. They were in Colorado the other night. They lost that game 7-4. They've lost 3 straight games now. And I wish I faded them against Colorado. I've been faded them all 3 games there. And then they head home after this. So they get to head home and have a couple days off. The next play on the 13th against Florida. That's a massive game. So maybe they're looking to head home, but you've lost the first 2 games of the homestand. This is definitely the easiest opponent you'll have on the road trip. It's definitely the easiest opponent you'll have on the road trip. Is this a game I need to get involved with, though? Not particularly. This is also a rested Utah team. They were on the road the last 2 games, but the last game they played was on the 7th, so they had a couple days off as well. This is a Utah team that's trying to make a push towards the playoffs. I don't think they get there, but for me, it's a stay off spot. Tricky one here. Last game of a road trip for the Maple Leafs. Maybe they're looking to go home. Maybe they don't want to get swept. You got to figure that out. They play Florida next, which is a much bigger game than against Utah. So ultimately, for me, no play here. I'll be fine with the Oilers team total and then the double up on the Blackhawks. So that is all for me, though, in this card. Let's see. A -1.5, a -250. Yeah, no, it's not. It's -180. But yeah. Leafs puck line. Leafs puck line. Leafs team total over. Utah first period. All right, a little bit differing there. Marner anytime goal. I heard Carolina wanted Marner in a trade for Branton. That was interesting there. My lay is Oilers money line, Sens money line, Leafs money or -1.5 plus 619. Not a bad way to go at it. Argentina scores. Argentina soccer makes sense to me. 4-4-6. That's fair. Nice plus 225 or plus 250. That's not a bad look. Utah Hockey Club full game. Not the same though. Yeah, Gunther anytime goal. But that is everything for today's card. If you guys have not already, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications so you guys are notified each and every time we are live here at ESB. We'll head back to the chat one last time, and then we will head on out. Draw. Not a bad look there as well. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. Want to thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll catch you guys same time, same place tomorrow for another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. Good luck, everyone.